Lane Kiffin will be really good if he goes to LSU or Florida. Like he'll be, there's a proven. You win 10 games, 3 seasons in a row. Will the other stuff be aligned at those places like it has at Ole Miss becomes the question, right? And we don't know. We don't know the answer to that right now.
You have any hunch?
Dan, you've written 2 columns about Lane. Why don't you start?
Content Kiffin. I will beat a dead horse. Thank you, Lane. Thank you. I mean, look, everything he is doing says he's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess he can pull this WWE move, or he gets Jesse Palmer down there for The Bachelor. We do a Bachelor finale with the roses. Maybe does it. Like Lane is going to upstage the Ohio State Michigan game, which is almost impossible, right? When is this decision that could be on Friday? Everything says he's leaving. I still can't believe a guy would leave on a playoff team. I can't believe it. Let me say this. I thought going into this week, Ryan Day had the most pressure of any coach to win a game. Just win. You got to beat your rival, right? I'm not. I can only imagine how much this guy's hurt. I gotta beat Michigan, right? That's literally the promos. Like Ohio State beats everyone except Michigan, right? Like, I mean, you sitting there watching football on Sunday, and that's all you hear. And then Lane Kiffin comes and says, "Yeah, hold my hottie toddy. We're going to do this." I mean, they're 8.5-point favorites in the Egg Bowl. Egg Bowl is crazy. If they lose this game, if Lane Kiffin doesn't win this game on Friday, I don't think he even wants to show up for an announcement, because clearly the distractions would be a factor. Everyone's going to blame him for everything. Ole Miss is not guaranteed to get in the playoff with a loss to Mississippi State. Like, he has to win this game on Friday. I've never seen a coach create more pressure on a single rivalry game than what Lane Kiffin has done. I can't even imagine what happens if he loses. It's not going to be pretty. My guess is he's gone, because why would you risk what's going on right now, the distractions, the frustrations? His team clearly doesn't know. No one knows. Going into such an important game, you have a chance to close out the best regular season, if not ever in the school, than since 60 years. This big moment, and you're running a risk on it. So I guess he's leaving. I guess he's going to LSU, because I cannot imagine why you do this, but I still can't imagine how someone leaves in the middle of and walks away from a playoff team.
They lose in Starkville, Rece, or they in or they out?
I think some of that might actually depend on Lane, because it is, and as has been pointed out, it is in the criteria that if you lose, and look, we saw it with Florida State in the 14 playoff, and we've seen it in the basketball committee when Kenyon Martin years ago from Cincinnati got hurt. Now, they didn't get left out because there are a bajillion teams in the basketball tournament, but they were a clear 1, and they got dropped to a 2. So in a 12-team field, with it in the criteria, you lose to Mississippi State. You've got a great win at Oklahoma. You've got a solid win against Tulane, who may or may not be in the field, and may or may not be ranked at the end. Solid, but you're down there in the bubble mix, and that could be the determining factor. I would guess, if I had to guess, if they lose to Mississippi State, absent all of these other bubble teams losing also, if they all win and Lane announces that he's not going to be, or they announce that he's not going to be the coach, my guess is they would get left out. That would be my guess. Wouldn't put everything I own on it, but that's what I would guess. And I try not to pay any attention to the blowback you get on the social media, but a lot of Ole Miss people got upset with what I said on game day Saturday, which is like, look, you haven't won anything in 60 years. So I'm just doubling down on it right now. You haven't won anything in 65 years. And I understand the ego. I understand the pride. I understand the whole concept of not wanting someone who no longer wants to be at your place representing you. But collectively, you've got a group. And I've heard all season from coaches about, you have to build your team year to year now. You have a little thread of culture, which is an overused word, but really everything starts over every single year. If that is true, why are you going to short circuit it before the end? You can be as mad at him as you want to. What gives you the best chance to win if you get in the playoff? I would say it's probably leaving him as coach, unless you have a player revolt. If you have which is also unlikely because they can leave too. Sort of bolstering my point that everything now is year to year. So if it is in fact year to year, finish this year. It's going to put you in a tough spot. Go ahead and go out and try to hire your coach, hire your general manager, get people working the portal for you who will be on the next staff. That will be a Herculean undertaking. I understand all of that. But it's what gives you the best chance to win now. You really want to squander this chance this year. Maybe you're not the favorite, but maybe win the national championship, or at least get in the playoff and win a playoff game or two. You really want to give that up because the guy doesn't want to be your coach anymore? You don't know that the next guy you hire is going to get you back there. I don't care how aligned you are. A lot of people are aligned and they're not getting there and they're blowing games. You're right there. And if you're there, you should enhance the opportunity to win it, because guess what? He's already the portal king. One of the things that people say might compel him to go elsewhere is because he has to overhaul the roster every year there through the transfer portal. You're doing it anyway. So let the guy finish. Maybe I can understand being as mad as fire at him. I understand all of that. Let him finish. Maybe you can be mad at him on the way out the door when he raises the national championship trophy and leaves it with you in your football building on the way out. Maybe you'll still be really mad at him, and you can go and look at the trophy the next time you go to Oxford and say, you know what, we won in spite of that guy. I'm sorry his name's on the trophy. I'm still mad at him, but hotty-toddy, we still have the trophy. That's how I look at it. I know some people disagree with that, but that's how I look at it right now.